Hi, son.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for sharing my 69th birthday with me. I appreciate it. I don't know if you realize it. This is the first time we've seen each other in person since Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes, it has.
We'll have to figure out how this new dynamic works for our videos. I'm used to looking at you in the screen, but now I'm looking...
Yes, I'm used to not being able to see that giant-ass bald spot on the top of my head when I'm talking to you, but, well, that's a story for another day.
All right, well, why don't we hop into it? So when I was driving up here to come visit you, I told you one of the things that I wanted to talk about was some of the challenges or mistakes that consumers make when they go to make a car purchase. And this was inspired by, I was listening to a podcast that was talking about personal finance. And obviously we're not personal finance experts. If we were, you can see the condo, maybe we'd be in a bigger condo. I don't know, whatever it is. But,
yeah, perhaps. Yeah.
But there are some maybe common pitfalls that people fall into when they go into the process of buying a car. And I thought you could maybe share from your experience what some of those are and how our audience can be prepared for them if they're thinking about buying a car.
Absolutely. The biggest pitfall, I believe, is that people are willing to extend their payment range. For instance, if somebody comes into a dealership and one of the first questions the salesman asks is, what do you have budgeted for your car on a monthly basis? And the customer will say, $350 a month. And the salesperson's response is up to, and the customer will usually say 400. Okay. And the salesperson knows that means 450 or more. And then, so the biggest mistake people make is all they're concentrating on is their payment.
Yeah.
And they're not concentrating on what they're really paying for the vehicle. They're just concentrating on what that monthly payment is and what's comfortable for them. And the mistake that they make is oftentimes they allow the dealership to sell them on the concept, well, why don't we do extended terms so that we can get you into that more comfortable payment? And the extended terms go from 60 months to 72 months and then suddenly to 84 months.
Yeah.
And there you're at a payment that's comfortable. The dilemma is that comfortable payment is going to put you in a negative equity position not too far down the line.
Yeah. So mistake number one that you see that customers make is payment shopping and then fitting themselves into a payment based off of getting a really long loan term.
Based off of getting a really long loan term, perhaps not having a sizable sum of money to put down.
Yeah.
So that they can reduce the amount of their loan.
Yep.
Or possibly rolling in negative equity from their previous car.
Which we see happen a lot.
All the time.
And there was recent news that came out reporting of the most negative equity in history, amount in trade-ins.
Yes, being transferred to the next loan.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's something that you're recommending you should avoid, is selling yourself on a payment.
You should. This is going to sound terrible to say, because everything we do in this country is based on the opposite of this. You should not buy anything more than what you can afford. And what you can afford should not necessarily be based on what you can budget towards it on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
What you can afford is what literally you might actually be able to pay cash for. I'm not telling you to necessarily pay cash, because most of us don't have the money to pay cash for the things. But truly limit or establish what it is that you can afford. If what you can afford is a $25,000 car, don't allow yourself to figure out how to get that $35,000 car.
No, I get it.
And as a sales manager, as a salesman, I saw that every day. It wasn't the salespeople talking the customers into buying more than they should. It was the customer insisting that they get more than they could really afford.
I did this when I bought my car. I did this when I bought my house. I ended up, you said, okay, it's no more than this, and you end up going way above it. So I empathize and I get that. I think the other mistake though that I'll mention at least, and I'm interested to get your feedback in, is if you are a payment shopper, not factoring in all the other expenses associated with the cost of ownership, i.e. maintenance, gas, and insurance.
Yes.
So
People forget that part.
Yeah, like I know when I think on my Volvo that I still have, if you want to buy it, message me because I really don't need it. Although it did get me here, so I'm happy about that.
You know,
I could have biked here though.
You could have, but you wouldn't have gotten here yet. But
Yeah, I'd still be biking.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is I think my monthly payment on my Volvo was like $700 and something.
Yes.
And I remember when I initially started shopping, I wanted a payment goal of like $500.
Yes.
So I got a $750 car note,
Mm-hmm.
and then or car payment each month. Then there's insurance, which is run through you. Thank you, but I still pay you when I remember.
Better.
Yeah, when I remember to.
Yeah.
There's gas and there's maintenance, and for that car in particular, I mean, I blew through tires on that. I shouldn't say this if I'm trying to sell it. Well, I blew through a lot of tires, got them all replaced. Ultimately, I guess what I'm trying to say is like mistake number 2 is not factoring in the total cost of ownership when you are payment shopping because it's a lot there.
And you forgot one other piece of the total cost of ownership.
Yeah.
Depreciation.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, that's huge. So on average, it probably costs Americans $10,000 to $12,000 a year to have a car, between payment, gas, insurance, and depreciation. $1,000 a month, easy, for most people.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, and that's, I don't know, I'll say it, that's crazy. I mean, that's just absolutely crazy.
No, that is a lot of money to put towards transportation. But it is, I think, like I'm trying to say, it is a mistake to walk in and think, okay, the payment is $450 especially when you're selling yourself on a lease option, right? Oh, the lease is $450, and sure, there you've got, yeah.
Yeah, but the difference is on a lease, you're at least you're under warranty typically for the entire term of the lease. So, maintenance you'll be responsible for, gas you'll be responsible for. Some brands include maintenance, so there's limited costs there.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody forgets all the other costs associated with owning a car. One of the other big issues that I saw, and this happened before the Great Recession of 2008, 2009, and I know it's happening again.
Yeah.
And what I saw then was people were utilizing their home equity loans to buy new cars.
You serious?
Yeah, because rates were cheap, and I mean, I'll never forget, I had people come in, and they were like, I don't know, $15,000, $16,000 upside down in their trade, and they decided they were going to get a new MDX.
Yeah.
But they could offset all that because, well, they had cheap money from their home equity line of credit, and I would advise, and I say, well, I don't think that's really a good idea. You're usually given 15 years to pay back your home equity line of credit. What seems like a cheap payment today, if you don't pay it off in a reasonable amount of time and you allow it to continue, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years, maybe 12 years, what are you doing?
Yeah, definitely.
And why are you taking the equity out of your house to cover your negative equity in your trade?
So mistake number 3 is trying to pool money from other sources to sell yourself on why you should get into a car.
I literally would advise people not to do that, and I realized when I would do that, when I would say that to them, and I would say that to them out of compassion and concern, and I know you find that hard to believe because I'm a car guy that I would even have compassion and concern, but I realized afterwards that when I would do that, it was a mistake on my part, because basically as a salesperson, if you say to somebody, you shouldn't, I don't think it's in your best interest, well, what they hear is, you're not going to tell me what I should do, and so they go ahead and do it.
It's the reverse. Sandler Sales calls it the reverse.
Yeah, and I really wasn't trying to do that to people. I was trying to give them good, sound advice as to why they wouldn't want to do this. But damn it, you're not telling me what to do, Ray. I'll show you.
Okay. So mistake number. All right. So we've talked about payment shopping, or at least, coming in and trying to buy more car than you can actually afford.
Yes.
Not factoring in all the costs of ownership.
Yes.
Trying to pull money from other sources that you really shouldn't be allocating towards a car purchase. Are there any mistakes that you've seen on maybe the F&I office or the back office that customers make?
In finance, I mean, there are products that are available to buy. Some have more value than others. Some have no value at all. Some dealerships pre-install things on cars that they try and charge you for, like window etch, because, they can track the car if it's stolen through the window etch. Well, they got to find the car to be able to track the number. Some dealerships pre-install low jack and things like that. There's some products that are worthwhile. There's some products that aren't. Personally, I was a big fan, and I'm still a big fan of exterior paint and interior protection, where they guarantee against stains and things of that nature, to protect the paint and to protect the interior of the car. It's not particularly expensive. I mean, some dealers
mark the hell up out of it.
Yeah, will charge you way too much. I guess one of the reasons I liked it, is I was always buying it for cost. Okay, I wasn't paying the profit, but it's a good way to protect the paint. It's a good way to protect the interior of the car, and then if you're buying something and not leasing it, and you are bringing negative equity to the table, and buy the gap insurance. I mean, by all means, buy the gap insurance. But, there's certain things that you probably don't need, and there's certain things that you can negotiate the price of. The unfortunate reality is a lot of customers don't want to even be bothered with having to look at these things when they're in the F&I office. But because of lawyers, the dealer's obligated to at least make you aware of these things, because a dealer was sued one time because the customer said, well, had I been offered the extended warranty, now that my car blew up, I would have bought it.
Yeah, no, so for clarity, if you finance a purchase, if you pay cash, you don't have to go in the F&I office.
Well, you do, because that's where the
final
paperwork's done for motor vehicle and stuff.
But from a legal standpoint, you don't. So one of the things that we do for our clients is we'll actually get in writing. We'll ask them to send an email that says explicitly, I'm not interested in gap or extended warranty. If they're not, we then send that off to the general manager of the dealership, so that then our client doesn't have to go in the F&I office when they go to take delivery. But I guess to frame this around, not necessarily mistakes, but just things that customers should avoid, is don't get sucked into checking every box.
Well, I remember when I was at an Acura dealership in Arizona.
Yeah.
And we had a really very pretty finance gal. And
you gotta be careful here, man.
I'm being careful. And she would always dress provocatively.
Oh, jeez.
And she would get people to buy extended warranties on a 3-year lease.
Okay, but that makes no sense.
Exactly. But what the customer, and they were usually older men, what the customer thought, they were getting a date for having bought the extended warranty. That's a mistake to buy an extended warranty on a 3-year lease. I mean, the car's under warranty. Why do you need that extended warranty?
Okay. And I am abstracting away that comment. Yes, the mistake is don't buy an extended warranty on a lease. We actually had a client that asked me about getting an extended warranty on his lease for a Jaguar, and I explained, and hey, if you're watching, I explained we really don't need to do that because the 3-year 60,000 mile warranty from the manufacturer will still be good. So that's a mistake.
Yes.
Why don't we wrap up with one more that is not potentially inflammatory to our audience? Am I oversensitive? I don't think I'm oversensitive.
No, you're not oversensitive at all. I can't really think of too many other mistakes.
I got one more.
Okay.
And I want your take on if you think it's a potential mistake. And it stems from the email I got last night.
Damn, I'm fat. Jesus. Yeah, go ahead.
Comment down below if you want Ray and Zach to do like a push-up challenge or something like that.
I'm not even trying.
We both need haircuts though, man. This is rough.
Yeah,
This is really, you can see it.
I want to wait till my barber gets good with those 6-foot long shears before he starts working on my head.
Yeah, I keep joking with my dad about how I want to get another. That's not a joke. I want another tattoo, and he keeps saying, wait till they get really good with the 6-foot long needles. And I'm like, okay, you know what? We're gonna wait.
Yeah.
Okay, this was inspired from last night's email that I got from one of our viewers, which was, I think it's a mistake, and I want your confirmation here, to get out of your lease 12 months early, because your lease is designed to go to term, and it's not like those payments vanish.
No. They become part of your payoff.
Exactly.
Payoffs on a lease are figured by taking the residual value that was established at the time that you entered the lease, plus any remaining payments that you have, minus a wee little bit of interest. Okay? So you're going to make those 12 remaining payments whether you want to or not. The lease company is not obligated to make those payments go away on your behalf. You're obligated to make them. So don't. My advice has never been to get out of a lease early. Leases are designed to go full term. So by full term, if it's a 36-month lease and you might want to start looking at 33 or 34 months, okay, because you only have 3 payments that you're trying to do something with. But if it's a 36-month lease and you want to get rid of it at 24 months, then the next lease you go into, make it a 24-month lease, okay? But don't be trying to get out of it early. We had one other interesting comment yesterday, and that was a gentleman wondered if he had 1 year remaining on his lease, and if he were to prepay that final year so that he wouldn't have to worry about the payments, and if the car got totaled, what happens to those payments? Because a lease has gap insurance on it. Well, the gap between what the car's worth and what would be owed would be less than it normally would be because all the payments had been paid. So he would lose that money. Oh my God.
We have a special guest.
It's my brother calling,
all right,
perhaps to wish me a happy birthday.
Let's see. Put it on speaker.
Hello?
For some reason, Springfield Township didn't include your birthday on this year's calendar.
They forgot it's a national holiday.
All right, let's wrap up.
Ken, can I call you right back? We're in the middle of filming a segment for our
You're about to be on YouTube, Uncle Ken.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. I'll call you right back. Bye. Oh my God. There you have it, folks.
Gap insurance. If you pay the lease,
don't pay a year in advance, because if you have an accident, you're not getting that money back. Because gap insurance is just covering the gap between what the real value of the car is and what's owed, and by having paid all those payments, less is owed than normally would have been.
There we go.
There we go. Sorry for the interruption from my brother.
Don't be sorry about that.
He was just letting me know that in Springfield, Pennsylvania, that the township forgot to mark my birthday on the calendar this year.
My dad used to live in Springfield Township.
I did. Graduated high school there in 1969. There's a lot of symmetry. I'm 69 today. I graduated high school in 69. 69 is a wonderful number.
It absolutely is, Dad.
Yes.
Well, why don't we wrap things up?
Okay.
I'll get this on the interwebs. We'll get a bunch of happy birthday rays.
Did you want the outro? Folks, we're done. I've got to call my brother back.
Thank you, Dad.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, we are fun, man.
Oh, God. I hope people enjoy it.
I think they will.